I'm known to move fast. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today I'd like to talk about Global Lithium and our exciting Marble Bar Lithium project. Before I get to that, I just want to leave you guys with a message for afternoon tea, and that is we are in the Pilbara. It is a great place to grow up as a company, and we've got a lot of growth ahead of us. And we've had a really busy May. We listed on the ASX at the start of May, and we raised $10 million. We've only been listed for 3 or 4 weeks, and raising $10 million means we are well funded to pursue our exploration plans at our Marble Bar Lithium project. The second thing we've done in May, in parallel with our IPO, is we achieved the feat of having a drill rig on site on the day of our listing. So not only have we listed as a new ASX listed company, but in parallel with that, we are drilling at our Marble Bar Lithium project, and we are seeing if we can grow our project. And we are doing that in the landscape that we've all talked about today, and that is an improving lithium price environment, and we are seeing prices in our lithium products increase, and market commentators are forecasting that thematic to continue over time. I like to start with this photo. It's an iconic Pilbara landscape full of greens and reds, and it shows our exciting Archer lithium deposit, where we have 10.5 million tonnes at 1% lithium oxide. It's a really good start. But more than that, this photo shows the extraordinary access to infrastructure that we've got. Our project is blessed with infrastructure. And on this photo, we can see that topographically it's very flat, it's very accessible, and in the middle ground, we have a sealed highway that runs within 100 metres of our project site, all the way through to Port Hedland on the left-hand side of the screen, 2 hours away, one of the world's busiest deep-water ports that exports spodumene concentrate already. To the other side of the screen, 15 minutes drive, is the town of Marble Bar, a vibrant community of 600 to 700 people. We've had access to services, we've got access to fuel, there's a general store, there's a pub, there's lots of infrastructure there for us to use as a base. I'd like to start the presentation by just talking about an introduction to who Global Lithium are. Our project, the Marble Bar Lithium project, is located in arguably one of the world's richest infrastructure regions on the planet, the Pilbara. But more than that, it's a Tier 1 lithium province. We've got 2 world-class lithium deposits near us, around 90 k's to the west of us, which is a stone's throw in the Pilbara in our region. And our project shares a lot of geological similarity to those 2 deposits, Pilbara and Wodgina. Our project is a hard rock lithium project, spodumene-bearing pegmatites, very similar to what we see at those other 2 world-class projects. Within the Marble Bar project, we have already discovered and have started to progress our Archer lithium project, 10.5 million tonnes at 1% lithium oxide. As I said earlier, it's a good start, but we're confident that with further drilling, we've got a really good opportunity to seek to grow that project over time. Not only at Archer itself, but we've identified an area of more than 20 square kilometres of prospectivity. And so the opportunity for us over the next 12 months, as we undertake our exploration plans, is to look more broadly outside of Archer to see what we might have in our part of the world. And to do that, we've hit the ground running. We really did have a dual rig turn up on the day of the IPO and to commence our 2021 drilling campaign. But for us, that wasn't our first drilling campaign. We've been around for 3 years. We've only just chosen now as the right time to bring our story to the market. So our programs this year, as we work through the presentation, you'll see that we're stepping stones from RC into diamond rigs into a further RC program so that we can continue our growth momentum and we continue our news flow into the marketplace. Then as we work towards targeting a resource update towards the end of this year. I won't dwell on the overarching lithium market sentiment. I think everyone in this conference is very familiar with that. What I will point out is that for our business and our most relevant lithium product, it being spodumene concentrate, we have seen prices increase more than 60% so far in this calendar year. And for us, We are an independent mineral resource for hard rock lithium in the Pilbara. And I've heard my fellow colleagues talk about the importance of branding for end use for these products, so car manufacturers and their brands, and they're looking to find supply, secure supply from first-class jurisdictions like Australia. We're independent. We're not tied up with anyone. We've got no committed offtake. We're still relatively early, but for us it's an important thematic to say that we have come to the market because we're ready to start to talk to the lithium community. So we've been around for a little while. We are a lithium-focused company. We were formed around 3 years ago by Dr. Tianmin Chen, who's in the room with us today, a very well-respected member of the mining community here in WA, backed by some sophisticated investors who took a long-term macro view of the lithium market thematic. We chose to list this year because now is the right time for our company to gain access to the public markets to fund our next phase of exploration, but to also be part of that lithium discussion that's around the water coolers at work and it's around the dinner tables at home. To take our business forward, I'm a big believer in people. People are the pillars of a business. Without people, you don't have a business. My background is in mining engineering, geology, with postgraduate finance degrees. I've spent part of my career in investment banking and part of my career helping companies develop bulk commodity projects. I've worked in iron ore, worked in bauxite, I've worked in mineral sands, uranium and others. And so for me, when I looked at this project, what attracted me to it was its location, its exploration upside, and the opportunity to be part of this overarching thematic. We have Warwick Hazeldine as our chair. Warwick is a very well-regarded investor relations person by background, probably known to half the people in this room, if not more. But more importantly than that, and the value that we get from Warwick as chair, is he's been part of lithium transactions, very key lithium transactions in Australia for the past several years, and so he brings a deep understanding of the market to the company. And then, of course, Tianmin Chen, mining engineer, has spent a long time in Western Australian companies. He's run companies here and he's been on boards, and as a founder of our company, very well regarded and respected. I'd like to do a bit of a shout out to our technical team, Resource Potentials, who have had continuity with this project for 2 years now and have been running our projects with utilising their lithium experience, their experience in the Pilbara, and they've been doing a great job on site. We're on schedule, we're on budget, and we're doing it safely. And if people are the pillars, then our values are our foundation. Everybody in this room has been talking ESG, and for us, even though we're still relatively early stage with a starter resource and a lot of exploration and growth ahead of us, we are already laying the groundwork in this discussion so that as we progress our business, we've put in place the framework and systems to set ourselves up for success when we start to have those discussions with off-takers and the communities as we work through our life cycle. We're doing that not just for the benefit of ourselves, but we're doing it for the benefit of the communities in which we operate and for the benefit of our stakeholders, not just our shareholders, but also future off-takers and future industry participants. And you'll notice we put our values before we even spoke about our project, because for us, starting life with the right branding, starting life on the right footing with respect to ESG, gives us the right footing to go into our project. I'm going to talk a little bit of technical detail here. I know it's close to afternoon tea, so I'll try and keep it light. What we've got here is our tenement position, and it's a really strategic position that we've got. That yellow outline, it looks pretty rudimentary, but for us, that's quite a strategic outline. It's an overlay of a whole raft of geology, local mapping, geophysics. We've flown 3,000 line kilometres of aeromag. We've taken 5,000 geochemical surveys, soil surveys. And more importantly than that, we have outcropping, spodumene-bearing pegmatite all through this area. As we looked into this area and we started to explore it, we discovered Archer very quickly. And I'll talk about Archer in a moment, but the key takeaway from this slide is that we've only explored in any detail less than 10% of our prospective area as we know it today. And that yellow border is simply an outline. It could be bigger than that. And that's the exciting opportunity that lies ahead of us. Zooming in a little bit now on Archer. Archer is found at surface. It outcrops. We have spodumene-bearing pegmatites outcropping at surface that are mineralised. We've done over 12,000 metres of work on our project before we listed on the stock exchange. And we've got a rig up there now doing a further 4,000 metres, and we announced yesterday we've extended that to 5. And the reason we've extended is we're so encouraged by what we're seeing. We're seeing really positive outcomes there, and we've got our first batch of samples to the lab for assay, and we look forward to updating the market with those results soon. But before we get those results, let's look briefly at the results that we've been getting and some of the good news that we're already able to put into the market before we even get our latest round of drilling. 16 metres at 1.4% lithium oxide at 37 metres. Now that intercept, that pegmatite, pokes through to surface. I've walked across the top of that. And for us, that's really exciting because it says that we have an opportunity to have an at-surface, good-grade lithium ore body right next to a road 2 hours from the port of Port Hedland. We worked very quickly and rapidly to develop our maiden mineral resource, 10.5 million tonnes, 1% lithium oxide. But you'll notice on the diagram here where we've brought our resource through to the surface, nature doesn't work in straight lines. We've got a great opportunity to grow our project. It's open in all directions, and that's the objective of our drilling program to date. We've been doing a 5,000 metre RC program managed by Resource Potentials, and we're really springboarding that into geological interpretation to assist in our targeting, and we've got a diamond drilling program being planned as we speak, and we're looking forward to continuing our positive news flow into the market over the next 6 to 12 months. This has got to be my favourite slide though. On top of our good project, we are in an enviable location in the Pilbara. We are not a remote mine site, we're not a remote exploration site. We're 15 minutes drive from a town of 600 to 700 people. We're 2 hours drive from the engine room of Australia, Port of Port Hedland, where the spodumene concentrate is already being exported. There are major lithium deposits nearby, and perhaps most critically and most fundamentally important for a bulk commodity project like ours, we've already secured access to a bore field on our tenement. We've got an arrangement with a local company where they will develop water infrastructure for us, and in 3 years' time, in the event that we discover an economic mineralisation, we are entitled to take that infrastructure back for free. We've already solved the water. As we springboard through the year, our focus is going to be more technical and exploration. Our growth is ahead of us. We've got a lot of news flow coming. I'm going to skip through some of these slides because I'm going to run out of time if I'm not careful, and I think everyone's looking forward to afternoon tea. I won't dwell on this slide. EVs are now a global mega trend. We've all heard that rhetoric. And for us, when we look at it, we don't see people buying electric vehicles. We actually see people buying a change in the environment. You could buy a car, you could buy a petrol-powered car any day of the week. But what's happened in the last little while from our perspective is we've seen consumers change the landscape for the industry that is electric vehicles. All of the noteworthy car brands are now electrifying or making substantial commitments to electrify. And they need to find the lithium from somewhere to enable that to occur. It is a critical mineral and critical to that supply. And for us, having uncommitted spodumene mineral resource in the Pilbara is a really strategic place to be, particularly when we've got so much growth ahead of us. This is also one of my favourite slides, not because I'm trying to demonstrate that we're undervalued, but because we would like to emulate the success of our peer group. When we look at this slide, and we've benchmarked ourselves against a couple of our smaller peers, you'll see that our resource at 10.5 million tonnes is actually not that far away from some of our peers. And it wouldn't take a lot of exploration success before we can start to move along this curve in terms of starting to look at our project as a development project. And so our opportunity is to work on the exploration for Archer, do the groundwork to bring ourselves into the market attention, educate the market as to who we are and what we do, and seek to emulate the success of our peer group and climb that curve. Now, before we all go to afternoon tea, I'd just like you to leave with this thought in your head that for us, we are in a really good spot. We've got a really good project. We've got access to world-class infrastructure. We've got a really credible team delivering on news flow that's going to be coming at you for the next 12 months. Thank you very much.